right, so I'm blind. So I'm putting on the glasses. It's gonna happen. I don't care. So like he said, I wanted to get you guys actual results. I pulled all these numbers up today so that you would get up-to-date numbers. And yeah, so I'm gonna show you how I got over $55,000 in sales and over 100 members for a new business before they even open their doors. Who would love to do that for one of their clients? Raise your hand. Come on, like everybody, right? Can you imagine if you were selling that to a new client, being like, hey, guess what I did for this person? I could totally do it for you, and then apply it to so many. I'll show you how you apply it to other promotions as well. So who am I? You don't know who I am. I don't present often. So my name is Stephanie. I've been in the marketing business for over 12 years. My story is not the typical digital marketer story, right? You've heard, oh, I was on my family's couch, a year ago, and I've done this in 6 months, or I was living in a basement 3 months ago, and guess what? I'm a millionaire. No. I've been in this biz for over 12 years. I know, right? Believe it or not, I started with grassroots marketing, old school, newspapers, radio, television, you name it, I've done it. But I have learned where the return on our client's investment is, and it's digital. And I'm a numbers person, so I show them the results and the numbers, and they're like, well, yeah, that makes sense. So. My first job was at the movie theater tearing tickets when I was 16 years old. My dad came home and said, hey, get up off your ass, you're 16, you're getting a job. So that's what I did. I was promoted very fast, became a supervisor, then a manager. Very quickly, as soon as I was a manager, they said, hey, there's a competition, a marketing competition. All you have to do is promote a movie. The first one I did was Shark Tales. Anybody remember Shark Tales? Yeah, Shark Tales. No other manager wanted to do it. It's mostly, they aren't creative. They didn't want to put the effort in. I'm like, great, I'm the new manager. I'm totally going to do it. So I did. And I won awards. I won national awards for it, which, mind you, I didn't know what I was doing. I had never done anything in marketing before. But I put in the effort. I got creative, and I thought outside of the box, right? So how am I going to do this? So as soon as I got back, they said, hey, you want this job? You're going to manage the marketing for 17 properties from Key West to Jupiter Beach. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, okay, fine. So it's one of those things where we all go through. It's like, can you do this? Sure. Yeah, we can do it. And then we figure out later how to do it, right? So we all do that. But I did face many challenges. It wasn't easy. Nothing came easy. I worked hard. I hustled. I had the struggle of, I started when I was 19. You have the struggle of, should I continue with my degree? I think that's the battle we all face. I know people have psychology degrees and engineering degrees, and you're probably not even using it now, are you, right? Because the digital marketing world changes so fast that you have that debate, but then the social norm is you're not intelligent unless you have a college degree, right? So part of the headline for Jeff's thing was college dropout does this, but technically I'm not a college dropout. I still have my AA, but my career skyrocketed, and I kept with the times in the digital marketing, and results and experience outweighed everything. I got jobs that required degrees, government jobs, multiple government jobs, but they said nobody competes with your portfolios and your experience, right? So I also went through a lot of harassment and discrimination and age discrimination, where they're like, you're only 22 years old, you should be happy with your salary, even though the people who are double your age with kids and families are making double your money and less responsibility. So it's tough. You have to push through those walls and push through those challenges. But it was always because I had results. I always had portfolios. I always showed this is what I've done. So what I push to everybody is keep your results, take screenshots. Now in the digital, back then we would keep flyers, but now in the digital world we take screenshots and say these are our numbers, and you'll see my numbers later on. So in 2015, 2016, I was part of Dan Henry's, I'm sure most of you have heard of him, his beta course when he was first starting. You can't read it there very well. These are my numbers when I started. Literally $21 per result. I'd die now if I got that number, $21 per click. But yeah, that was back then when I started in the digital world, just learning everything, probably where some of you guys are now. You can't read it very well there, but this is when Dan first started, where he changed the name from study group to entrepreneur to this like 3 times in one day. And this was back when he was in his basement with the wood paneling. And you can't see it there very well, but I'll reference back to it. There's an email I sent to him after this last September. I did webinar in a weekend with him, and my brain was fried, but it was amazing. It was creative. It was so creative. He handheld me through the whole thing. He edited everything, and I felt great when I did it. But then I came home, And everyone's like, what is this? Nobody speaks our language, right? Our family doesn't speak our language. Our friends, my friends, up until now that I've, kind of gone into the digital world, they don't speak my language. So I literally wrote Dan a message saying, I want to cry. Like, I feel terrible. I was on this high. I was so energetic and so happy. And I get home and everyone's like, what is that? That looks like a pyramid scheme, a webinar, right? So and then Dan sent me this email that I just replay in my head afterwards over and over, and I'll show you that later on. So once I started figuring out Facebook ads, I learned digital marketing, I applied it to my clients, and then I started getting results, right? So that's what it's all about. So what you're gonna learn today, we went over the $55,000, but what was the deal? I'm gonna show you exactly what the deal is, how was it delivered, and what were the results. So what were my clients' goals? They hadn't even opened their business yet. They were a franchise. They were opening a new massage spa in a city which had zero brand recognition. A lot of hurdles that I hear from my clients is nobody knows us here. We have zero brand recognition. They needed to finish construction fast because they needed to start making a profit. And if anybody knows about construction, TIA dollars is something they negotiate with the actual building, saying, hey, we're going to give you $250,000 to build out in our leasing area or whatever. But what happens with the investors and business owners, they use those dollars to run their business. So if you're not, the faster they open, the more money they make, and they don't eat into those dollars. So that was really important. And then they had to open before the holiday to maximize the gift card sales. So at least in the massage industry, their bank is Valentine's Day, Christmas, anything having to do with gift cards or packages, that was banked. So they were about 6 months out from the holidays, from Christmas, which is the biggest sale of the year, and they didn't want to miss out on that just because of construction. But then there were challenges. They had shortage of therapists, competition issues. When I say competition issues, a competing franchise, very well known, and I won't say it out loud, but actually sent people to apply for jobs just to get all the paperwork and find out what they're doing and what are their prices and everything. So they had to deal with that they'd hire people and be like, no, sorry, we're not really, an employee for you. Yeah, that actually really happened. And then the biggest ones was construction delays and permitting delays. So you can have everything built out, but if you don't have the permits, and I worked for city government, multiple city governments, they sit on it and it takes forever. But what does that mean for your client? Because what does that matter to you? It matters to you because that means there's delays and they can't make money. And if they don't make money, they're not going to give you money, right? So they were 6 months behind schedule, eating up all their TIA dollars. They needed to make money and fast. So the way I've always thought, and I've seen this quote multiple times, I don't know who wrote it, but it says, don't accept defeat until you made your last attempt. Always try, right? And never make your last attempt until you've succeeded. You have to think outside the box. That's what I did when I was at the movie theater. I thought outside the box and I won national recognition. Get out of your box. Get out of your head. Talk to people. Get ideas from other people. If you ever think you know everything in this industry, you don't. You always have to keep learning and learn from everybody around you, right? So I had an idea. What if I created an ad with an early bird special offer, right? We always see these, happy hours, early bird. So why can't I apply it digitally? Create a sense of urgency because we know that that's what gets them buying quickly, right? And get people to register as a member before we even open. I know a lot of people measure clicks and click-through rates and all that stuff. I want dollars. I measure dollars. So all these results you're going to see are actual physical dollars in the bank. And that's how I measure my results. What if I placed the ads for gift card sales, directing them to buy online or on site? And you're like, how can they buy on site? They were closed. They weren't even open yet, right? I'll show you now. So here's the ad, literally. So everybody knows I love to split test, but I don't split test gender, age, or any of that anymore. I split test images or context, right? Who am I to say this is the winning picture? I don't know, right? So put up a couple pictures that you're questioning, let it run for 2 or 3 days, and then see which one's winning. Why should I decide, right? So this is one of them. It's a slideshow. I use also Canva, slideshow, photo. I'll split test all 4 or 5 of them and say, great, everybody's watching the video. Great, everybody's watching the slideshow. That's how I split test. So I did a slideshow of photos on this one, $29.95 on a massage price in the ad. I like to put the actual price in the ad. What that does for me is it shows that if somebody clicked through it, they already know the price. So they click through, oh, it's so expensive, I don't want it anymore, and then they fall off. Guess what? You didn't click through without knowing the price, right? So I like to put prices up front. We then, once we got them to click through, got their information, we upsold them to membership. So if you sign up today, you'll get 2 more months at $39.95, which a regular massage is $49.95. So they're still saving, just so you know. After your first massage. And then you encourage likes and shares at the bottom. There's 33 shares. God knows how much that went out, right? And then 180 likes after that. So you always encourage the shares. So here's another one of the ads, a slideshow. This one was just an image. But what did we also do? You can't really read it because it's a little blurry. I'll share all the slides with you guys later so you can actually see the verbiage and copy and paste, honestly. But we set up a table outside. There was a nice little grassy area. We put up a tent, put one of the employees out there and said, hey, here's an iPad, start signing people up. That's not on me. I said, hey, I'm going to send people there. You better have an employee over there. And they did, because they want to make money. So we put a spinning wheel. We said, hey, come sign up, get a free 5-minute chair massage, something that they're already paying their employees to be there. They just can't open their doors because of permits, right? And then we did, if you sign up today, early bird special, $29.95. The second our doors open, this is what the ad says, you're not going to get this deal, right? So they know that unless they do it right now, they're not getting that. Where can you get a massage, a great quality massage for $29.95? You can't. And then the way I also priced it is the massage spa costs them an average of $18 to actually give the massage between salaries, overhead, and product supply. So I said, okay, $29.95, you're still making money, right? Minus my ad costs. But they, as a franchise, they have a certain amount they have to spend per month. So I stayed within that required amount. So either way, you can't really count my dollars towards that, right? So $29.95 for the massage. Then I said, great, the holidays are coming up and we're still not open. What the hell? We're going to lose a lot of money on gift card sales. So what did I do? I sold the gift cards online. And you're going to tell me next, hey, we don't have the budget to make videos. We don't have the budget to do the photos. Guess what? These are all stock photos. I hate stock photos. But when these people don't have them, what are your other options, right? When I don't have a facility to go into and take physical photos of all this, what are your other options? It still worked. And the video, guess what? That video, I purchased stock videos and I made my own script and I just mixed it up with other spas around the nation's video, like photos and videos. So it's thinking outside the box and getting creative. And if you're not that creative person, meet somebody that is and work with them and say, hey, can you be creative with this, right? Because the smartest people in the world and the most richest people in the world delegate, and their team is the one that actually puts everything together, right? So don't think you can do it all yourself. I know this is a problem I have. You got to work together with other people to get the best result. So we sold the gift cards online. I shot them, shop now, purchase now, straight to the corporate's website and said, hey, buy now. If they buy it on my location page, I get, like, my spas would get the credit for it, so that's how I measured the results. And then, of course, split test videos, images, and slides. So these are results. Obviously, they're super tiny, but I blew them up for you. So let me get closer. So the price was $29.95. It varied $39.95 if they were to upsell them, because there were opportunities to upsell them too once they got you there. So total sold before they opened the doors of just the intro massage, meaning you come one time for massage, $33,508, and I always take off the cents because I don't care about that stuff. Then all the upsells, meaning, oh, if you sign up today also, you can get 2 months at $39.95. So that's what the 2 month, another $30,844 is. And then now we start figuring out the value. So if this client stays with you for 6 months, this is what they're worth to you. If they stay with you a year, this is what they're worth to you, right? So if the client stays for all these clients, obviously that's not gonna happen, but all these clients stayed for 6 months, $324,000. If they stay with you for a year, $636,000. What client would not want those results, right? But the actual 2 first lines are dollars in their pocket now before they open the door. I should have done that, right? Then you're like, what about the gift card sales, right? Gift card sales, this is for 3-month period, $30,000, $30,081.65. So let's do the math, right? New clients, $33,508. Holiday gift cards, ooh, typo, $30,000. Total sold prior to opening the doors, $63,000 before you even open your doors. Can you imagine if you can get that for your client? They'd all be knocking on your door, right? Then the day that you open the door, because you had those other 2-month specials that started, was $96,000 that they had the second they opened the door. Now you're kind of like, great, what did you spend on ads? Because I know that's the first question I ask everybody. I'm like, yeah, you made all this massive amount of money, but what about your ad spend? It's probably like $100,000, right? No. So, blew it up for you guys. Thank God I did this. Amount spent, $7,120. So let's do the math again. $7,120 ad spend between October to December. So I stayed within the parameters of what that franchise is supposed to spend per location per their franchise agreement, right? Total revenue before doors open, $56,000. Total revenue after day one open, $89,000. This is after the ad spend, right? So this is pure profit, absolute profit. Obviously, the overhead and all that is not accounted in there, but as far as I spent $7,000 and I got you almost $90,000, it's great results. I mean, who thinks it's great? Raise your hand. Yeah. So what happened? I did it again. You know, I did it for another location and another location after that. You can apply this to multiple businesses and just copy and paste literally. So what happened this Mother's Day? This is literally what Mother's Day was a week ago, right? I was like, you know what? Let me try to see if I can apply this somehow again, right? So Mother's Day, I had challenges. Corporate does not allow me to sell packages online. They allow me to sell gift cards, $50, $75, $100. But if anybody knows, Mother's Day or Father's Day, or Valentine's Day, it's packages. I want that high ticket item. The lowest price for my items was $109. And I know I hear all the time, oh, you can't sell $109 stuff online, right? It was really last minute. I had like 4 or 5 days until Mother's Day. I'm like, you know what, let me just chuck this out and try it out. I'm gonna test run 2 of my locations. If it works great, we're off and running to the horses for Father's Day, which is what's happening now. So my challenges was corporate doesn't allow me to sell packages online. Literally sent me an email saying, nope, sorry, you can't do it. I cannot integrate my booking system. So a lot of them say, oh, put your booking system with ClickFunnels and the money will just go straight through. The rule with franchises or that franchise in the corporate is that unless the credit card is processed through their system, I couldn't charge anything. It's not okay with me. So they were losing money. They were losing potential money and it just did not sit well with me. So what I do, I created an online ad selling Mother's Day gift packages. I created so the spas are allowed to accept a credit card authorization form. So why can't I put that online? So I created an online credit card authorization form. We had a lawyer. I verified all the legalities behind it, what they had to affirm and acknowledge and check mark and say, okay, yes, you can charge my credit card. Shot that straight to where you would send an email to one person who was held accountable for all these credit card information, and they had to process it. So they got an email, the directors and owners got an email, and then all the information got shot to a private locked Excel spreadsheet that they had to then, process all the credit card payments once they got it. So technically, I was still within the rules, right? Because they were still processing it in the location, not online. So we sold the packages over a 4 to 5 day period. I tested out 2 locations, Pembroke Pines and South Kendall. If anybody's from Miami, you know the areas. These are the results. Over 2 days, I spent, for Pembroke Pines, $345.22, and I made, we sold $1,500, but I made, because I like to do the profit loss thing, $1,164 for 4 or 5 days. That's not bad. And on high ticket items, remember, this is not a $50 deal. This is not a $20 deal. This is $100 or more. You're going to see over there, it says 100, 129. There's different kinds of package levels. Then South Kendall, I spent $435. They had a bigger area code, zip code, radius-wise. Total earned $1,254. Profit loss $819. Somebody bought $375 worth of gift cards at the very bottom there in a 3 to 4 day span. That was actually the last one that came in. I'm like, great, feels good. Even better, because I love, I'm not a bragger, but with corporate, I love rubbing it in their face, right? So Pembroke, this is actually the newsletter that came out yesterday, and it shows from all the spas all over the nation who's winning and who's doing good. If you look at the gift card sales, Pembroke Pines is number one with 14,761. If you do the math, they won by $1,282. What does that mean? My online gift sales, had I not done it, they would have just barely gotten there, right? South Kendall would have never been in the top two. It wouldn't have been second place had I not run those gift card sales. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to take this information to my investors and my owners and say, guess what? This just happened. Let's blow it up, right? So yeah, and this is comparing to these people have been open for 10 years. They've been open for 13 years. So I'm beating out spas. My oldest spa has been, which is right there, Davy, which I didn't even test run that one, has been open for 4 years. South Kendall, like 2 or 3 years, like not that much. So they're very young, and they had, remember, no brand recognition in the area. So what? So what do we cover? By thinking outside the box, you can overcome your challenges. You gotta get creative. If you say, I know, I've actually done interviews where people came in and said, I already know everything. I can kill it for you. Done. You will never know everything. You have to keep learning. You gotta get creative. You can't give up. So when you're faced with a challenge, say, oh my God, I can't do it. You know, I'm going home. Forget it. Don't give up. Split test your creative and your text. I'm terrible at copy. I hate it. I worked in marketing and media and PR and everything for years, and I still hate it. So I will never think I know what the best copy and the best creative is. Maybe now with customer research from Jeff, it'll, you know, I'll kill it. But until then, I'm going to be split testing, you know, all my creative and my text. Take advantage of any specials or holidays that are coming up. And then you can duplicate this for other businesses and other locations and other promotions. It doesn't necessarily have to be a grand opening. It could be something else, like Mother's Day and so on. So I do have my private Facebook group. I did put an ending to my link. It's SBM Miami, which means Small Business Marketing Miami. It's very small and intimate. I like to answer all the questions. I'm sure at some point, hopefully it'll grow. Maybe after Arnie's talk, it'll grow. But that's my group. Feel free to join. And I want to go back. You know, you guys are probably like, oh, what about Dan's email? What did Dan say that inspires you all the time and kind of keeps you pushing to not let that negative get to you? You know what? I don't even know if I could read it here. Let's see. I'm going to read it off of here. So Dan wrote me back, and he said, you can't possibly take the opinion seriously of someone who doesn't know what a pyramid scheme means. I get comments like that every day, dozens on my ads, and even from emails from people watching my webinar. That still doesn't affect my bank account at all. The only thing you should let bother you is a low conversion rate, and that's it. You're doing something great, and they aren't. They don't matter. Dan. So it's right. They don't matter. As long as you're doing results and you're, you know, making money for your clients, and you know that you've done something amazing and great, then just keep going with it. Don't let people bring you down. They're not going to understand what you're saying. They're not going to understand what you're doing. Half the people think I just sit on my couch and I have it easy, but no, we work hard. We have to earn what we get. Just people don't speak our language, so they don't understand. So like Dan said, they don't matter. They matter, but not in this way. They don't matter. That's all.